Fires in California. Watch this.
Fox News alert right now. Fire crews in Los Angeles racing to contain an out-of-control wildfire, bracing for more strong winds to threaten their progress. 16 victims are confirmed dead.
16 deaths from these fires. And this stuff could have been prevented by forest management and proper water management, neither of which California was doing. And they cut the budget for the Los Angeles Fire Department. They cut the budget for firemen throughout the state.
In December, you had warned that the budget cuts would severely limit your ability to respond to large-scale emergencies. Is that true or not?
Yes, so I would say yes, we were limited to a certain factor, yes.
And let me ask you about how that limited your response, because in the early hours of the wildfires, especially in the Pacific Palisades, we had a team on the ground, a crew there with a reporter, and witnessed a number of homes burned to the ground, and there was not a fire truck in sight. How did that happen?
We pre-deployed the most amount of emergency resources with what we had. With the pre-deployment, when the fire takes off, we're going to push as many resources that we can at that particular incident. And that's what we did. We did exactly what we could with what we had.
They are absolutely wasting and mismanaging billions and billions of dollars in California, and now it's burning to the ground. And Trump warned them about this. Joe Rogan warned them about this. This is a tragedy.
And more than 100,000 remain evacuated. Joining us now is the latest with California Fire Battalion Chief David Acuna. How do we feel about containment? What areas are the most threatened as we wake up this morning?
The entire perimeter is threatened, although we are 11 and 15% containment for the Palisades and Eaton, respectively. The concern is these winds as they go back and forth. You know, Adam did a great job of pointing out all the weather. One of the elements that we look at as well, though, is that all that air ends up being a pocket off the ocean. Well, as soon as the winds stop, the winds go the other direction. So we've been dealing with these battling winds that threaten every inch of that line, which is why we're being so cautious with the containment percentage.
So, Chief, right now, as we stand here today, how do you feel about the resources available to you? Do you have everything you need to best fight these fires?
We have more than 12,000 firefighters assigned to these incidents, and with more on the way. You know, with 7 states contributing as well as Canada and Mexico, it's all hands on deck, and we're thankful that everyone on the Western region and internationally are coming to our aid.
We see a lot from the helicopters, the super scoopers. It's on the screen right now. We see fire retardant. You drop water, you drop retardant. Tell me a little bit about the strategy from an aerial perspective in fighting these fires.
So helicopters primarily drop the water, and their goal is to slow the fire down enough to let crews to get in. Fixed wing aircraft provide 2 different elements. So the retardant can be used directly on the line to slow the fire down so crews can get in, but it also is designed to create areas like, say, on the ridges where you saw that aircraft just drop right now, to be able to create a line that the fire won't be able to get past. So it is a combination of direct and indirect attack.
Right. So I was looking at the evacuation zone. I don't know if we have that map that we can put up, but just with a little bit of a working knowledge of Southern California, what I saw when it comes to the Palisades fire is that it's approaching essentially 101, it looks like, on the northern side, and 405.
Look at that area. It's gigantic. And what is that fire retardant? Could you imagine, like, being in your house, you got this fire that's coming, and there's this fire retardant. I mean, that can't be good for you. What is that stuff made out of?
It's been around more than 60 years, the critical preemptive strike substance known as fire retardant. Drop where the flames are headed to act as a sort of chemical fire break. When the drops hit vegetation and plants, they won't catch fire. But what's it made of, and where is it made? It's powder mixture with the active ingredient ammonium phosphate. The brand name Cal Fire and the Forest Service used, Phoscheck. And it's mostly made at a Southern California plant, in Rancho Cucamonga to be exact. Its ingredients are blended together and made gooey sticky by a thickener, get this, similar to one used in making ice cream. The drops, well, they're powerful. Cal Poly's Fire Institute likens it to being hit by a 500-gallon water balloon. The aircraft dropping it can pack a punch. 1,200 gallons are carried by smaller planes. 18,000 gallons can be carried by those huge super tankers. And it's not just used to fight fires. Professional fireworks operators use the chemical compound to drop on the ground near where fireworks land to prevent a fire from igniting. And that's the answer.
Now, when we have 60 to 100 mile per hour winds like we saw on Tuesday and Wednesday, that's just simply not going to be sufficient, which is why we struggled so early on this fire, because it was just blowing so incredibly fast.
Okay, last question for you before we go, Chief. I asked you what you have available to you today. Is it satisfactory for what you need to fight these fires? You know, I don't want to push you into the blame game unless you feel like it's warranted, but if you look back on how prepared you guys were, what was made available to you in the beginning stages of these fires, do you feel like you were best served to fight these fires from the authorities in terms of water and everything else you need?
Let's see what this guy says.
Yes, actually we did. We moved a number of resources from CAL FIRE from the north because they have sufficient rain and snow up there, all the way down to Southern California to prepare. We didn't know where the fires were going to be, so that as soon as we did have a fire break out, we immediately engaged.
16 dead, 37,000 acres. Tragedy. Tell us what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe so that you can stay up to date for all of our new videos. Please help us get the word out and spread the message. This is The Lawyer Dana Show.